Wow, this is cargo. This cargo hold, huh? It's so big. Well, there's a hole of the missing suitcase. This plane is a special model. This plane is a special model. It's both a super large cargo hold and ultra luxurious first class seating. So this is the real scene of the murder. There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. We just love pushing buttons on elevators and crosswalk signals. You should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor. Detective can't move. Oh yeah, guess nothing would happen if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would happen normally anyways, without a special key card. Both the doors to the attendance room and the elevator control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable. This one says pharmaceuticals. This says for exorcism use only. This one says for exorcism use only. So what kind of operation is this airline running? Hey, what's with this suitcase, pal? You know what's the victim's check-in, sir? The suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. Nothing out of the ordinary in here, sir. Wait, a file. It's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. What? It looks like a profile on on Francisca. Is Hicks a hitman? Is there a potential that Hicks was a hitman coming after Von Karma? Why would Mr. Hicks have a file on her? Holy suitcase, it's just like an all-you-can-eat suitcase fair. These must be all the leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. Pickup really is cool, don't you think? It practically screams artsy. Oh, why not purchase one of them? I'm sure it'll bring you much happiness. Think so? Maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Miss Tenero wonders why they don't sell. You need 2 jobs to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? Bunch of glass fragments. Oh. This is where his glasses were broken. Oh, no, not that one. I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses. And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses. Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glass lens. Ergo, the victim was here, just as suspected. So you're saying the real scene of the crime was here, sir? Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now? Oh, it is. I didn't know that. Perhaps it's a bit early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find a murder weapon. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on a cargo crew. This sure brings back memories of when I worked as a part-time mover, sir. By the look in his eyes, he's waited for me to ask about the rest of his story. But no matter how he pulls his puppy eyes, I would have no intention of doing so. I didn't know that this plane was capable of carrying such large pieces of cargo. Thing is, as tall as two of you on top of each other, sir. It would probably take 20 of you to cover the entire surface of this monstrosity. What? Really? Maybe I guess that sounds about right. There's no need to take that throwaway estimate seriously, Detective. Nothing over here. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir. Haven't noticed a thing. I'm not sure he meant to say. He's also oblivious. You arrived at the scene of the crime before Detective Gumshoe, correct? And then you immediately began to direct the investigation. It seems to me that you're already here at the airport for something besides this murder. Yes, I was. I've been following a very large and involved governmental-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Okay, so our victim was an Interpol agent, wasn't he? Question mark? Interpol is involved. It's a top-secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have documents profiling Francisca? Oh, I know, but he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir. Francisca said that she had to come to this airport as part of an Interpol investigation. Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks had heard she was coming here and followed her here. Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you? Nonsense! What are you talking about? We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. He went undercover to investigate this crime. And it was I who put him on this case? I was supposed to receive a call from his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have plenty of definitive evidence. The Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold. What was he doing down here, sir? It's nothing but luggage. Some of this cargo could be what he was after. Which I think points the finger at our little our artist guy. There's nothing down here, nothing here but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ah! Agent Hicks came here for a work-related reason. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No, unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see, but that raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to a member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. And then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are a testament to that. And then the killer put Agent Hicks into one of the spare suitcases and they entered the elevator. But while they were riding up, the plane hit that patch of turbulence. And because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open and Agent Hicks' body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. I think it's pretty easy to say who the culprit is at this stage. What? Really, sir? I know what you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth. But the killer can be none other than Miss Rhonda Tenero. I don't think so. If it was a crew member, any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the keycard that allows the elevator to come down here. The only person with such a high-level access is Miss Rhonda Tenero. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? Yo, what up, Halo? Welcome to the Crime Solvers. I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. See.
Hold it.
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Melee or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot is a cockpit. Without a pilot in a cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand, much like Scruffy over there. I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well. What about the other flight attendant, Miss Melee? Ha! I thought you might ask about her.
Hold it.
But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tenero.
Objection!
It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father? Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet. You're a disgrace. There's more evidence pointing to Miss Rhonda Tenero, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon, the Captain Ugo piggy bank? Yes, she's also the person. She's the only person with the key to open that display case.
Hold it. Objection!
But that is all fake. Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this is just a red herring. If you must keep insisting that it's a fake, then what is the real murder weapon, and where did it go? Speechless, I see. That's not a surprise. After all, you know we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. There must be a way. There must be something that can rule out the piggy bank as a murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of it? The freaking body. I am sure the cause of death is something different than blunt force trauma. I am certain. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusion. Oh, was I? Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks' head is consistent with the murder weapon. Scruffy! Yes, sir? Contact the medical examiner office at once. I wish to hear the results of Agent Hicks' autopsy. Yeah! Yes, sir! Uh-oh. We've got a bit of a problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. What is it, detective? They're still doing the autopsy, but they said they already know one thing for sure. Report! Now! Doc said that it's one giant bruise from a beating to his shoulder down to his mid-back. One giant bruise from a beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back, he was beaten over such a wide area. Well, I'd say it's maybe a sign that the killer had a grudge against Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out and hit him multiple times, sir. Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean? Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, detective? Well, they said they were still looking into that, sir. You're completely useless. Ouch! Sir, I already told you can't go down there. No, you remove yourself from my way. What is all the racket? My luggage and my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me now. Still investigating the cargo hold. Please, have a little more patience. I suppose there is no choice. Finally, I said, Kiki, what are you? You have left no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me. Wait. That is what the whole thing about. Oh boy. There's a matter of the key to display the cases of numbers. Okay. After all, you know we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed. And this, okay. Is the murder weapon gonna have something to do with what's under that tarp? He's gonna crash down. It's gonna open up, and it's gonna be something big. That's gonna be the weapon. That's gonna be the weapon that that Agent Hicks got knocked down onto it. Doc said he got one giant bruise from a beaten from his shoulder down his mid-back. Okay, how do I want to connect these?
A lot of boring math later.
I thought I tried that! I tried that! At least I thought I did. Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over. Which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. Is that really correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from the shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger. have to be these two. If we're looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, is something we've all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. What was that all about? Is he trying to jump his way down here? Francisca. What? What do you want? I found it, Francisca. I found the real murder weapon. You did? Yeah, he really jumped. We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time. Might be hurt. Go check on him, sirs. There's that pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit. Coming from a prosecutor was a habit of whipping everyone she comes across. Anyway, if you're really a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you? Come on, show me the real murder weapon you speak of. You don't have evidence. I don't have any evidence to show you. Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolishly foolish fool meant to fool me. What the frick? Foolishly fool, foolish fool, fool. Freaking. Frickety freak. What do you mean by I don't have evidence to show? Perhaps I should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks' death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what the real cause of death was. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. If he fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim had extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. The only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. So he was probably coming down here. The turbulence happened and he lost his balance and fell off. So his whole death is probably an accident. But the question then becomes who moved the body, because that would be tampering of evidence. I know. Are you claiming that there was some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs, this very cargo hold. What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have a second death on our hands, sirs. Hey you, tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quite. Why are you screaming? He's alive. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is still proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have become a Virginian pancake for sure, sir. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is the cargo box is there. There's no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. If I may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when the giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her the possibility of the box not always being where it was now?
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zhengfa? Yes, the flight had a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. It's labeled Zhengfa Express. Correct. Meaning it was loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa. Now what if the box in question was also loaded at the same time? It would mean that that box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe Zhengfa was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe Zhengfa leg of the flight. Making a clear stop from Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. But your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. The first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. It's a rather large piece of cargo. The tag on it, sir. See? Alfred statue. Never heard of it. Nor I. But all I care is that we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Let's get investigating, sir. Look here, do not touch any of my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal. This belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc. Of course it's mine. And I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This off-red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much more. 10 million cents, so $100,000. Got it. Mr. LeBlanc's reason for choosing this place must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes detective. Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like I keep getting better and better at seeing right through you. I feel like you see. I can't see Tonton. I feel like you can't. I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year. Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have the distinct impression that he continues to madly spin in place. Hey, Mr. Edris, it's a 10 million cents. Is that euros or in dollars? Does that really make a difference in our case? Mr. LeBlanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer. It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching. So you won't let us investigate? So we gotta present him something, huh? Unless I can make a connection. Probably this. So Mr. LeBlanc is likely the killer then. If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible that the fake statue was brought on board in Zhengfa. I need to question him a bit further. About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be fake. What? How dare you say that about my art is fake? I suspected your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring. Don't you say such fantastical things. Those thieves were not there. I have the certification of my cargo right here. Do you mean this cargo certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why did you say so earlier? Please show it to us at once. I can't read this. What does it say? It says as plain as day, the cargo was put onto a plane in Europe. And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate. No, that's... Which means that there was never a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. But there's still the thing next to it, which proves it could have been moved. I respectfully disagree. You can't discount a theory until I see the statue for myself. Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and you'll see I am right. Statue seems vaguely familiar, doesn't it? This. I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the Aleph Red. Oh, no, that's good. This is the Aleph Red, sir. Gives off such a feeling of art. Can practically smell it. Yeah, this is definitely not an art piece. This is stolen. 100%. Statue has the highest amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe. I brought it to this country to exhibit it. What does the photo say? The photo doesn't specify where it's taken. I believe a closer look is warranted here. Can we see above it? Nothing above. Edward! Oh no, come to. Okay, come to. Yeah, yeah. How did I get him up there? Dang it. I had him stuck like over here somehow. So this is the infamous Aleph Red statue. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Do you know something? There's something wrong with this picture. You could examine it in more detail. The eyes are a different color. There's some spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold.
Eureka!
Those eyes are awfully orange, don't you think? Yeah, I'm pretty. They remind me of the sunsets when I was in grade school, sir. I don't think you see what I'm talking about. No, I do. But I really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in the field spinning with my arms out until I fell ill. I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo? Huh? Ah! Sir, they're red! As I thought, the statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc. What do you want? Do not know I am a very busy man. I'll allow you 2 seconds for your answer. The Aleph Red. I suppose this is a pride and joy, is it not? It's the biggest trophy on the European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. It's gonna be a long story. Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but What is that sympathy? For what? You see, I'd like you to compare the eyes. That large fellow with a very bright and pretty eyes compared to you. I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo. Why is there sudden yelling? Now then. Ugh. This photo of the statue on display in the museum in Europe. Ah! Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake. Ah, fake! I believe further examination will be required. Now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake, there must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa. And I will present to you evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Oh. Yeah, that's a problem. What's this? Statue looks like it's stepping all over its neighbor's cloth, sir. Kind of resembles the owner's attitude in a sense. You, what did you say right now? Further, my clothing's hem is not being stepped on by anyone. It's too expensive for me to allow that to happen. Please forgive the trespasses of my subordinate. Why should I forgive trespasses? Unless it is an expensive dress, you keep it. Okay. Oh, it probably wants this. There's a clear contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of cargo getting stuck under another piece of cargo. That's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way. But the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa. There's no way any part of it should be wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa. But then, what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why. To secure proof of smuggling activity on this flight. So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. He could have just easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found a fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall onto the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved in forging or modifying cargo certificates. Guess the victim knew the real version. This was gonna get nabbed, huh? Yes. While this photo could have been seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that his smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo on the hold. A rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Zhengfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. The statue was not in the cargo during the Europe Zangfa leg of the trip. There would have been enough height from which Ancient Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move the statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Now! Miss Von Karma, ready to report my findings. Go on. Moving the red statue out of the way. Test the area with luminol, and there was a reaction. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at it now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? Oh, that's probably what the cloth was for.
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zangfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover. So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zangfa? There's no other conceivable timeline of the events of the murder. So I think that 100% proves LeBlanc is the killer. Because LeBlanc claimed he saw the victim go down the elevator after the plane had taken off again, which at this point is an impossibility. So his testimony is a lie. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zangfa, then this becomes highly suspect. LeBlanc's testimony. The times referenced in referenced by Mr. LeBlanc in his testimony are inaccurate. However, I believe the actual body of his testimony is fairly reliable. What are you sputtering out? What are you sputtering on about now over there? Hurry up with your answer. Really? Hold on, I'm still collecting my thoughts. Or is it hers? Wait. Oh. I forgot she said that. Recall Miss Melee's testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed for Zangfa. Saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but that totally contradicts the facts, sir. But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Melee herself. So if this all happened during before the flight landed or something, yeah, she could be a highly big suspect. Also, to a degree, the captain could be a suspect still as well. Oh my gosh, it's not over. It's not over. How long is this case?